Greetings. I'm Dr. Andrea Hall, the author of the Metaphysical Love Stories. If you're into romance with a deeper twist, stick around. Today I'll be reading from my first book, Good Regardless, a metaphysical love story. I'll be reading from chapter 5 entitled Let Me Be Me, raw and uncut. Ayala's voice comforts me most of the time. Sometimes, when I was younger, it was more of an annoyance than a comfort, like when she told me to do something I didn't want to do, or when she told me not to do something that I wanted to do. Girls on the middle school track team were in awe of Joseph Moret, giggling and swooning over him like he was God himself. First generation California, with parents from Opelousas, Louisiana, Joseph was handsome, smart, and a high school junior. He was Creole, a mixture of African American, French, and Native American. Along with a closely cropped afro and caramel brown skin, he had muscular limbs and six pack abs. Deep dimples in his cheeks sank in deeper when he smiled, parting full lips framed by a light, silky adolescent mustache and revealing a row of perfectly straight teeth aligned by braces. He was everything that my teammates and I considered fine. The icing on the cake was that he was nice, respectable, gentlemanly, and never took advantage of his position as a teenage assistant coach. As a long distance runner on the high school track team and star athlete, Joseph helped his father, Coach Moret, as a favor for payback for having trained him. Several precocious girls began wearing tight, short pants and bra tops to track practice, attempting to attract Joseph's attention. Coach Moret immediately put a stop to it. He told them they had to wear the school issued gym sweats to every practice. No more tight shorts and bras. Ayanla giggled silently with me, glad that we weren't one of the girls embarrassed by the obvious new mandate. Joseph taught the young runners how to improve their style, stride, and speed. I absorbed every word, followed his instructions flawlessly, and became one of the best runners on the team. Although he moved on to college when I graduated from middle school and ran on the high school track team, I would replay his words in my head as though he was still coaching me. He told our team that he would try to show up at an all city meet and catch us at the finals, but he couldn't promise that he would ever see us again. I didn't see Joseph at any of my high school track meets, but did see him once more at a party at the end of my high school junior year. Hyped and victorious after winning blue ribbons in my personal and our team events, several teammates and I attended a party hosted by a group of frat brothers. Because I spent so much time running, my wardrobe consisted mostly of tracksuits, tank tops, and tennis shoes. Mom was excited when I asked if I could go to the party. Mom loved parties, music, and dancing. I remember she took one look at me standing there in sweats with a head full of long frizzy braids and offered to take me shopping for an outfit to wear to the party. Happy to buy dresses instead of sweats, Mom bought me three ensembles, probably hoping I'd be invited to more parties in the future. I didn't like fussing with my long, thick hair any more than Mom did hers. So I wore it in about 100 single braids, taking it down only to have it washed and rebraided every 6 to 8 weeks, or when Mom insisted. In preparation for the party, Mom helped me take the braids out, then took me to the beauty shop to have my hair washed, straightened, trimmed, and styled. Years of wearing single braids protected my long, thick hair from heat and breakage, so when the braids were removed, it hung in a healthy curtain down my back. I'm in charge of the outfit tonight, Ayanla told me, and I let her be. She chose a short, tight red dress that clung to and revealed the full breasts and cleavage I'd inherited from our mom. It skinned my toned thighs, hips, and flat tummy, developed from years of running and working out. Like our mom, I loved to dance. I want you to dance freely and comfortably, with or without a partner, Ayanla said, and chose sparkly, strappy, open toed flats. You should definitely paint your toenails red. I was a little concerned that I might not be asked to dance, and I said so. Our mom looked at me as if I were an alien. Aisha, if you feel like dancing, dance. You don't need anybody else's invitation or permission. Ayanla advised me to wear more makeup than usual since I rarely wore any on an average day. Go heavy on the mascara and eyeliner above the lid, add a wing at the corner to accentuate your eyes. I followed her advice, and we were both pleased with the final effect on my large almond shaped eyes. Mom totally approved, appearing even more excited than I felt. Dad had his reservations and suggested that I wear my red Adidas sweatsuit instead of the red dress. Mom swatted him with a backhand and they laughed, watching proudly as I left the house to join my friends who were driving me to the party. Well, once at the party, I'll admit I'd stopped taking Ayala's advice. I didn't mean to ignore her, but at that age, I would sometimes shut her out when I didn't want to hear what she had to say. I accepted a red, white lined plastic cup, obviously containing alcohol, and shared a marijuana blunt with my teammates and Marissa's friend Miguel, the frat brother who'd invited us to the party. I ignored Ayanla when she cautioned me against accepting things from people I didn't know well. You know what's in that, she scolded, but I continued to sip and puff. She was right, of course. I really didn't know Marissa well, although we were both on the same track team. She was a thick, strong, powerful Mexican girl who excelled in the shot put event. I didn't know her friend Miguel, who invited us to the party and gave us the weed and alcohol. I just wanted to let loose and have fun for a change that night. I didn't want to be careful. I was fuzzy headed, dazed, and high. A few other girls from the track team who rode there with us, also high now, started dancing together, then started touching and exploring each other intimately. Miguel took Marissa's hand and they disappeared into the crowd. I stood alone but felt intensely and unusually connected with everyone there. I felt like dancing, so I did, recalling my mother's words. If you feel like dancing, dance. Dancing to the beat, alone and uninhibited, I attracted a young man's attention. He approached me and reached out to touch me, coming on strong, stinking like stale liquor, cigarettes, and body odor. His stench and intoxicated appearance repulsed me. I backed away and right into Joseph, who'd spotted me from across the room and was already on his way to rescue me. Joseph! I shrieked way too enthusiastically. His ebony eyes held mine, sending a reminiscent swirl of butterflies upward into my stomach and across my chest. I caught my breath before it escaped. What are you doing here? He drawled, looking me up and down, then down and up, slowly parting his full lips, revealing a deep, dimpled, irresistible smile, even with the visibly chipped tooth it now had. I came with my friends. What are you doing here? I'm here with friends too. I attend UC Davis. Aren't you still in high school? Yes, I'm about to be a senior. What? Aren't you about 15? He teased. No, I'm 17. I straightened my posture, trying to look mature and not high. I was feeling the weed and alcohol way too much. I felt great, but strangely great. Almost too great. Girl, you don't have no business out here. You look good, though. Incredibly good. I almost didn't recognize you. The stinky drunk guy reached for me again. She's with me, man. Joseph practically snarled, glaring at him, holding his gaze, daring a rebuttal. He took my hand and led me outside. His gaze on me now immediately softened. Let's get some fresh air. I followed him happily, eagerly. It's so good to see you. I haven't seen you since middle school, I gushed. He grinned at me. Look at you, all grown up, almost. I felt so good, so happy. I was elated, ecstatic. Joseph had never looked more handsome, and he smelled so good. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy to see you, I repeated way too many times, conscious of my slurred words. I imagined him putting his arms around me and pulling me close. I stepped closer to him. He eyed me intensely. Girl, you are high. I think I am, I confessed. What did you take? I didn't take anything. Me and my friends drank Hennessy and smoked weed with Marissa and her boyfriend Miguel. How do you even know Miguel? Joseph's eyes narrowed and the corner of his upper lip curled upward. He's my friend Marissa's friend. Miguel is my frat brother, and I know he likes Molly. You don't want to hang out with him. Did he give you Molly? No, just Hennessy and weed. Come on, let's dance. Joseph continued to frown, but let me lead him onto the dance floor. The DJ was playing old and new group dance songs. I knew the old ones like the Electric Slide and Cupid Shuffle because my mother had taught them to Ayamla and me. We'd learned others from YouTube like Cha Cha Slide, The Wobble, and newer ones. I pulled Joseph onto the dance floor and I was surprised that he knew most of the group dances too. When we didn't know, we simply followed the crowd. I was elated, yelling out the moves when I knew them, feeling the music on a level I'd never experienced before, feeling colors, tasting sounds, and loving Joseph more than I'd ever loved anyone. I'd never seen or experienced a more beautiful, perfect human being. I told him so when the music slowed way down. I slid into his arms without being invited. Pressing into him seductively, I told him again how good it was to see him and how much I had missed seeing him since I graduated from middle school and he graduated from high school. Joseph eyed me in a curious but non judgmental way. He took hold of my hands that were busily exploring his muscular chest and said seriously, almost sternly, Aisha, I think Miguel put something in your drink. It was Hennessy. He said it was the best. I felt so good because I drank the best. I was aware of my slurring voice. I thought it sounded sexy. I think he gave you Molly, Aisha. He sounded concerned about my welfare rather than impressed with my sexiness. What's Molly? Ecstasy. Really? Because maybe so. I sure feel like I'm in ecstasy right now. I laughed, smiling way too big. I thought I sounded clever. That's not good, Aisha. I don't want you to ride home with him. I saw him. He's as high as a kite, too. He shouldn't be driving. Okay, I agreed quickly. I'll go home with you. He laughed. You are so sweet, Aisha. So cute. I'd love to take you home, but not tonight. Not yet. You said I was all grown up. I said almost. Joseph kept me close to him the rest of the night. He gave me bottled water to drink and insisted that I drink nothing else. I didn't care. I didn't need anything else. Joseph was all I wanted or needed. When I told him I was tired, he walked me to where Marissa and Miguel were. I'm taking Aisha home, man. Miguel barely batted his half closed red eyes. Okay, man. Still marveling at the beauty and perfection of Joseph, the moonlit night, nature, and absolutely everything in sight, I walked with him, holding on to his arm to keep from stumbling to my front door. Everything is so perfect, I said, lifting my face to his, intending to seal the night of bliss with a tongue probing romantic kiss. Instead, he kissed me on the forehead. You are so special, Aisha, he said. You are beautiful, smart, talented, funny, sweet, and a hell of an athlete. But you are jailbait, honey. You are 17 and I am 21. I'm trying to go to med school. I'm not trying to go to jail. You're trying to go to med school? I am going to med school. Good. It's better to say I am going to med school than to say I'm trying to go to med school, I slurred. When you say I am going to med school instead of I'm trying to go to med school, it's a much more powerful affirmation. He kissed me on the forehead again. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You are so special. What other 17-year-old talks like that? I might go to Davis too, or Sac State. I'm going to be a nurse, I said, trying to impress him with the fact I had grown up dreams too. I'm going to make sure that no child ever dies of overwhelming sepsis. Let's work together and save all the children. Clearly amused, but not sure if he should take me seriously, Joseph said, "You are going to be a wonderful nurse, Aisha. You are going to be the best nurse ever. And I'm coming back to work with you after I finish med school so we can save those children together." I was so disappointed I didn't even respond. I didn't want him to come back so we could work together later. I wanted to be with him right then and there. If he was leaving, I wanted him to take me with him wherever he was going. What if he went away to med school and forgot all about me? What if he married someone else before he came back for me? I sulked, my bottom lip involuntarily pushed out. As if he read my mind, he said, "Don't go get married and move away on me. I mean it, I'm coming back." I continued to pout and went inside. Joseph waited until I was safely inside before he walked to his car and drove away. At least he didn't say he didn't want me to, at least he said he didn't want me to marry anyone else. I replayed those words over and over. Don't get married and move away on me. I mean it. I'm coming back until I fell asleep. The next day, I woke with a splitting headache, but I remembered having a magical time. I was so in love with Joseph Moret. I Googled what to do for a hangover. Apparently, I was supposed to drink lots of water and take aspirin. I also Googled Molly and ecstasy. Thinking back on the night before, I suspected Joseph was right. I was angry and embarrassed. I would not have chosen to take the drug, and I didn't appreciate that it was given to me without my consent. "I warned you," Ayanla said. I ignored her. Joseph had sent me a message on Facebook. "Just checking on you. How are you?" "I'm good, regardless. Thanks." "Regardless of what?" "This awful headache." I inserted the little emoji wearing a headache bandage at the end of my message. He responded with a laughing emoji and an LOL. "Drink lots of water and take some aspirin. Eat something and drink some coffee." I smiled. He sounded like a doctor already. I called Marissa and asked if Miguel had put Molly in our drinks. She denied it. "He would never do that. And don't tell anyone that he did, Aisha, because it's not true." I doubted her denial, but I couldn't prove it. I dropped the subject, but never went out with them again. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this reading and if you'd like to get your own copy of this book, continue the journey with me and click the link in my description box to order your book. Thanks again.